Hey, welcome back to the channel. Living your best life here in Cebu right now. I am at my condo in Lapu-Lapu. So as you can gather from the title, maybe what this video is going to be about is are simps ruining the Philippines for the rest of us? And the short answer is 100% unequivocally yes, without a doubt. And let me explain why. So I've been here almost a year now, and I've seen a little bit of a shift, honestly, just in the year that I've been here, in the attitudes of the women here. And it's becoming so popular that these guys just fork over money to women that they've never met on the opposite side of the world, that it's just starting to become what they expect. And no matter how many times we talk about it on videos, myself, other YouTubers, expat communities, people that live here, etc., 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 it's like guys cannot get it through their thick skulls of stop sending money across the world to some woman that you've never met, who might not actually even be a woman. And I'll come back to that. But they keep doing it over and over and over and over again. And then you hear all the sob stories of guys crying. I was sending my so-called Filipina girlfriend money for years and she was just scamming me. What did you think was going to happen? Honest to God. You're sending money to a person that you've never met, on the opposite end of the world, who chit-chats with you a couple times a day and does some Zoom calls or WhatsApp or whatever, FaceTimes you or whatever. Like I said, I'm not making these things up, guys. A lot of these girls that are doing the online dating apps, that is their business. That is how they make their living. It's easy living to make. Think about it. Got a friend I was talking to today, actually. He's got a girl he just met. She's got a so-called American boyfriend who's never been to the Philippines, never once been here. Sends her 10,000 pesos a month, and he's paying for her college bills. Doesn't sound like a lot, right? To us, 10,000 pesos is like 170 US dollars. Not a lot of money to us. To them it is. To them it is. That's quite a bit of money for them. She can live off of that, actually. She lives in a tiny little, it's like a board, they have these boarding house type things here. They're like rooms, basically. She lives in one of those, and she goes to college, and she doesn't have to work. So they just started dating, and he was kind of asking me my opinion of it. He's like, I feel weird because she's just taking advantage of this guy, but I kind of starting to like this girl a little bit, but he wants to get rid of her because he's, bad impression, obviously, right? Kind of shows her ethical character, I think, right? That you're just taking advantage of some poor schmuck on the opposite end of the world who's dumb enough to send you money. And she flat out tells him, I can't get rid of him because that's how I live, right? I like you and I want to hang out with you, but I hope you're not mad at me that I text my boyfriend in front of you and that type of thing. And he's like, yeah, of course it bothers me. It's weird as crap, right? But my point in saying that is it doesn't take a lot of effort for them to do that. And these dating apps are obviously global, right? She can have 5 foreign boyfriends, right? And all she's got to do is respond to text messages on and off all day long. Do a couple Zoom calls a week, right? They make more doing that than they would at a job that pays them 400 pesos a day. A lot more. Having 2 foreign boyfriends, you'd make more than that. You get 4 or 5 of them, you're actually living a pretty good life here. So it sounds like bullshit, but I know 100% certainty that these are things that happen here. I've seen it with my own eyes. I've talked to guys. Like I said, these aren't anecdotal things I've just kind of pulled out of my butt, right? These are things that I've talked to people here that tell me these things. I've talked to girls. Sometimes they're honest enough to tell you that. Or they're honest enough to tell you, oh, I got a friend who did this, that, and the other thing, my cousin, my sister, blah, 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 right? A lot of the Filipinos that aren't scammers will be honest and tell you the real truth. So guys, if you're in America, wherever country you're from, right, do not start scouting out the dating apps months before you get here. There's no need. Other than just morbid curiosity, you want to see what Filipinos look like, right? You can watch YouTube videos for that. Trust us, they're very pretty, they're very feminine, tend to be very nice, soft-spoken, polite ladies, good manners, etc. Kind of the perfect world for dating. You don't need to scout it out. You don't need to talk to 50 different women a year before you get here. You sure as hell don't need to girlfriend one up before you get here. And then the last thing you sure as shit need to do is be sending them money before you get here. Because I've heard so many stories that, oh, I was sending my so-called girlfriend money, and then the day I was supposed to get to the Philippines and she was going to meet me at the airport, she never showed up and I was blocked. I've heard that literally many times. Many times. And all she did was take advantage of you for the last year, took your money every single month, and then she had no intention of ever actually meeting you. It might not have even been who you thought I was talking to. I talked to guys who said I was talking to what I thought was my girlfriend for 6 months, and it turned out it was a ladyboy. Sounds like, oh, that's crazy. How would you not know? Trust me, you wouldn't know. These girls here are not like American trans people. They get fake boobs, and they're tiny, and they're pretty, and they look like women. So that is real common, actually. You could be chatting with someone you think is a girl, and it's actually not a girl. And they're just scamming you. Or it could be somebody else. A lot of different things that these girls do to scam foreigners. So don't fall for it. I don't care what their sob story is. They all have them. I didn't do the online dating all that long, but I did do it. And even the little bit of time I did it, I heard everything. Crazy stories. And just talking to all my friends and people that I just, see here in Cebu and Bohol and everything the last year, the stories that you hear just never cease to amaze me, honestly. And I was on an expat group earlier today, actually. There's a lot of expat groups online that you can join if you not into watching too many videos about these things, or you want to get other perspectives, etc. I was looking at one earlier, and he was talking about, they're married, so it's a different situation, but he gives his wife $400 per month spending money outside of the house expenses and things like that. But he sends her family $400 per month. And then he said, it's starting to get on my nerves because about every 2 weeks, she's asking for another $400. He said, so the $400 has turned into $800 for her and another $400 for her mom. And he said she just orders basically online clothes nonstop. She's addicted to online shopping. Well, I've talked about this in another video. I don't spend $400 on myself per month outside of living expenses, right? Meaning on clothes or just general bullshit, right? Not counting food, dinners, that type of thing. I don't count going out to dinner in that either. But my point is, these girls, they'll wiggle their way more and more and more. Kind of like the old saying, you give an inch, they'll take a yard, right? So that's kind of what happened to this guy. And then the comments are always real mixed on those type of things of, oh, what's your wife? What's the big deal? Well, the big deal is the guy's going broke. He said, I'm on a fixed income, I'm on Social Security, and I'm really starting to go broke, but she's not getting the point. Well, you got to put your foot down, my man. You got to put your foot down and just not allow that kind of thing. I'm not trying to be sound like a tough guy, but I just wouldn't let that happen, personally. I just wouldn't. But they're out here, and honestly, they're ruining it. And I was talking to a friend of mine, and we were talking about this, and I said, do you think it's changed? He's been here a little longer than me. I'm like, you feel like it's kind of, the tides are turning a little bit in the Philippines, right? And he said, yeah, because you're getting so many of these guys that are just willing to give these girls money, like hand over fist. It's like they come out here, and I just talked about this. You get a lot, especially here in Cebu, you get a lot of these guys that are in their 60s, They're come out here, they're on Social Security, and nothing against you guys, because I know that's most of the people that are coming out here, right? They get a lot of those guys coming out here, and they haven't had a beautiful 22-year-old girl flirt with them since they were, you know, 22 years old in college, right? So 40 years ago, maybe they had that happen, right? So they're on these dating apps, and these beautiful women are flirting with them, and then they say, oh, well, all I need is 20,000 pesos a month, and I could move in with you, but my family also needs 10,000 pesos a month. And everybody tries to justify it. Me and my friend were laughing about it. You read through the comments on either my videos or other videos and expat groups, and people either have the opinion of hell no, or they try to justify their giving money in all kinds of bizarre ways. Well, to date in America, it would cost you that much, so what's the big deal? You know, if you have it, spend it, blah, 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 blah. You can't take it with you when you're dead, whatever, whatever, whatever. Your money, do what you want with it, but what I'm saying is do not fall for the scam of giving these girls lots of money, or any money for that matter, honest to God. Sure as hell, don't be sending it to some woman that you've never met on a dating app. It is the #1 scam in the Philippines, and probably as well as other countries, Thailand, Vietnam, etc., etc. Anywhere there's desperate men looking to get young, beautiful women's attention, and they think they're going to be the knight in shining armor riding in on their white horse because they have some dollars to throw at their situation, and they think they're going to save the girl, and they're going to run off and live happily ever after. I'm not saying that it doesn't happen, right? There's a lot of amazing, amazing women here, and have super good morals and ethics that aren't looking to take advantage of foreigners. So that's not what I'm saying at all. But I stick to my friend's advice. I met this Filipino couple a long time ago before I moved to America, and she said she's Filipino, any girl mentions anything about money, in 6 months, ditch them, get rid of them, because they're looking to use you. Anything about money. They need money, blah, 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 blah. Just get rid of them. And I think that's very sound advice. Usually in my experience, people start to reveal their true colors at about 6 months. They can't hide behind the curtain, the veil, so to speak, all that long. And then their true self, their true identity comes out. Guys and girls both, right? Guys and girls both. So you probably know what I'm talking about. You've been in relationships. Things are great the first 2, 3, 4 months, and then maybe 6, 7 months, you're like, wow, this person is a lot different than I thought they were. And now all of a sudden, every week she seems to start, she's needing money, or, you know, this happened, that happened, and now all of a sudden that happens. Just cut your ties and get rid of them. Cut your ties and get rid of them, even if it's a so-called girlfriend. And you're in some long-distance relationship, I wouldn't send somebody 1 peso on the other side of the globe. I just wouldn't do it. So if you know someone who's doing that, or maybe you're doing it yourself, chances are, I hate to say it, guys, chances are you're getting scammed. Chances are you're going to get to the Philippines, you're never going to see that girl, or maybe she is going to see you because she knows that you've been a nice little cash cow for her. But trust me, she's got other boyfriends while you're in America, Australia, whatever it is you are. Trust me, she's hooking up with guys here in the Philippines. She's not sitting alone, crying herself to sleep every night, missing you because, you know, you're the love of her life, and you've never met this woman before. And I'm sure someone's going to say in the comments, oh, that's how I met my wife, and we've been happily ever after for 10 years. Maybe that's true. Like I said, everybody, you know, wins at dice every now and then also, but I'm not much of a gambler, so I'll err on the side of common sense. I've never sent a woman 1 peso on the other side of the globe. Never will. I don't care how old or heavy or out of shape, fat I get, whatever. I just have a little more logic than that. So resist that temptation. Like I said, you don't need to scout it out. Just do it when you get here. You're going to meet more people in person anyway. I just talked about that. There's so many girls here that you're going to meet people here is what I'm saying. You really don't. that sense that you have in America of like, I need to latch on to the first pretty girl who seems to like me. You don't need to do that here. Even if you're in your 60s and 70s and, you know, maybe not rocking a six-pack of abs and that kind of thing, right? There's still a lot of these women that are in their 40s and 50s here are beautiful because they're small, they age well, they're very feminine, and like I said, very family oriented and home oriented and things like that. So my point in saying that is you don't have that sense of urgency, I think, that you think that you do. Like, I need to get on dating apps for 6 months and secure down a girlfriend. Because a lot of people think, well, I don't want to get to the Philippines, and then it takes me 6 months to find a girlfriend. Trust me, you're going to get here to the Philippines, not being on any dating app. You could probably find a girlfriend within a week if you wanted to. And I don't mean like a short time pay for a girlfriend. I mean, you can just walk around, go to coffee shops, and not be creepy, and actually be polite and normal and approachable and talk to people. And I ask questions with people and just be sociable and get out. Like I just talked about in another video, if you have a motorcycle or scooter, get out and drive around. You're better off going to areas that aren't frequented by a lot of foreigners, etc., etc. So do it the old-fashioned way. But if you want to play in the dating pool online world, just be extremely, extremely, extremely cautious and keep your money locked up. And keep your money locked up literally also. I'll tell you a quick scam story. And these aren't unique to guys that have never been in the Philippines. I was talking to someone, he's been here for several years, and he got scammed by what he thought was his girlfriend. Turned out what she did was she went and stole his credit cards. Not physically stole them as in removed them, but went in and took pictures of his information, the credit card numbers, expiration dates, things like that, so she can make online purchases. And to make it even worse, he said it turned out she was buying dating subscriptions, like to dating apps. And then so she was trying to she was in that business. She was the scam artist of scamming multiple foreigners and joined. He said, like, it was a lot of money too. She must have belonged to like every damn imaginable paid dating website out there. So what she was doing was she stole all his credit card information, joined all these sites, and then she was getting guys on there to send her money also. So, and he felt really dumb about it. He said, I feel stupid because I thought this girl was my girlfriend. Like, I thought we were dating. Like, I didn't expect her to, I didn't feel like I had to like lock my wallet up, right? Like he said, I didn't feel like that was a necessity. But again, you got to be cautious, right? You got to be cautious. And that one, it's almost like you can't help those situations. But when you can help are the obvious things, right? The old saying, if it sounds too good to be true, guess what? It probably is, right? Holds true in most things. So, yeah, don't send money to anybody anytime, honest to God. I just wouldn't do it. So it's going to save you some heartache. It's going to save you some dollars in the long run is what it's going to save you, and some just kind of feeling stupid later when you realize and you get here and you talk to 100 different foreigners. You're like, yep, I was scammed the same way, man. And then you're kind of like, well, shit. I guess I should have known better. So we keep putting these things out, me and other YouTubers, and I haven't talked about this much, but I feel like I wanted to because, like I said, I literally just heard some of these stories like this week from guys here that I was chatting with, and then I just kind of thought it was amazing. I'm like, who are these people that keep doing this? Because if you're in America or wherever you're at and you're thinking about moving to the Philippines, you got to do research. You got to watch YouTube videos. That's what I did. I watched videos for about 6 months before I ever moved here. That's how I gathered all my info. That's how I picked this place to live, actually, was watching other YouTubers. So this isn't a new topic. So trust me, these are 100% real stories. They're not exaggerated. They're not embellished. They're not made up. They're 100%. I probably even downplay them, honest to God. They're 100% true, and they happen. And the funny thing is, every single foreigner that I know, once this topic comes up, we all laugh and say, oh my God, how many guys have you talked to that this has happened to? So you times how many people I've talked to, how many people they talk to, etc. It's thousands and thousands and thousands of people that this is happening to. So it's not a one-time, two-time thing. It's not a rarity thing. This is, and like I said, it's a global thing. It's not, they're not just scamming Americans. They're scamming British. They're scamming Australians and Israelis and you name it, because internet is a worldwide thing and they're taking full advantage of that. So just be aware of that and be cautious and save yourself some money. Don't send anybody anything and wait till you get here to fall in love and meet a girl, or just meet a girl in general and actually date someone that you can physically see face to face. It's going to save you a lot of hassle. All right, like and subscribe, and see you guys. Oh, I'm going to do a condo tour. I'll show you my building and my condo. Actually, I'm going to do that this week and post that and show you what 30,000 pesos a month gets you here in Cebu. All right, see you guys.